Lesson 2.3. So this overview is all about Lesson 2.3, which gives students the opportunity to explore their interests and to start to think about possible types of work that might interest them outside of school. So again, part of Unit 2, this particular lesson goal is to give students the opportunity to think about how they spend their time and explain their decisions with their time and how they might relate to their future interests. There are several opportunities for assessment. CASEL alignment is around self-awareness and identity. Here is the portfolio documentation, and then additional resources outlined at the end. These are opportunities for students to start to think about careers that might intrigue them. Something I know we've heard from a lot of students that they are interested in the opportunity to do that. It feels real and important, and quotes like a lot more applicable than this calculus class. So just an opportunity to do the kind of things that they don't typically get to do. Optional refresher is to refer back to the previous lesson just to remind them about the things that they valued in the value sort, and have that sort of top of mind. So the first part of the lesson, 10 minutes, is to spend on how you spend your time. In the handout, students are encouraged to write down all the different ways they spend their time in a typical week, just a list, brainstorm everything that they do. And then we encourage them to step back a little bit and put sort of a pie chart or think about percentages or the amount of time that they spend on each of those activities. So is it a few minutes? Is it, several hours per week? Try to describe the amount of time in each of those. And then that written reflection is put into the Good Work portfolio. So after they've done that, 10 minutes on that, we suggest that they turn and talk with a student nearby. So what did you notice about how you spend your time? What do you wonder? And we take, besides school, is there anything they might change about their schedule, just to take that school out of there, because it's a given. And maybe they wouldn't change it, but just to add that. If you are short on time, this is something that you could take out, this turn and talk for 5 minutes. They'd be reflecting during this whole opener. So, but it is good to kind of articulate and hear from another student. Then we turn to a group discussion, 15 minutes. We suggest that you put students into groups of 4, thinking about the numbers that may or may not work perfectly for you. But in each group, we suggest assigning a scribe, a leader, a reporter, and a timekeeper. So maybe if you have numbers that don't break into 4, you could have 2 people being the scribe, or maybe 2 people leading might not be the best, or you take out one of those roles. Each group should pick 5 of these questions here. So you have a large selection of questions to discuss. And as they reflect, they should think about the overlap between these questions and the responses they gave to how they spend their time. So are there ways that they spend their time during the week that could help them think about what they like or what they don't like within the workplace? So, things like, would you rather do work indoors or outdoors? Would you rather have a lot less money and work at a job that you love, or have more money and work at a job that you hate? So just some really great questions that I could still think more about, that are good to, we believe, inspire good conversation. After that point, we suggest coming back as a group for 10 minutes and have a group discussion, have the reporter, so, the person whose job it was to take, to share out the main points, have that reporter be the one to share out the main takeaways or the most surprising elements from the group's discussion. And then together as a group, think about these questions. One of which is, for example, how can this tell us about how we can best do good work in future careers? Keep these written reflections for the Good Work portfolio. And then the exit ticket, as always, is to think about what's one thing you learned that you'd prefer in your future work. So rather than a full summary, just pull out one crucial element to take with them, which again is a great reflective tool. And then finally, we include a number of possible enrichments so that students can dig a little deeper going forward to think about what interests them, what doesn't interest them, what motivates them for thoughts about future career.